What's going on, everyone? Emroy here, Executive Director of Tantrum with the weekly updates. This past weekend was the last session for our hip hop training, jazz foundation training, and choreography training. This upcoming few months, from June to July, we'll be focusing on house, voguing, and more choreography. A lot of which is, for us, the main thing is to train the dancers in pictures, grooves, footwork, and also obviously picking up choreography for retention and also performance. This past weekend, we also did evaluations, which is the first time we did in terms of choreography. We usually have evaluations as we're at the end of the year where we give feedback to the dancers in their overall performance. This one was more focused on where they were at in terms of training, and it was awesome to see the dancers. Let's give it a little bit more of a framework of what's happening. So we from March to May, we've been learning from basic jazz, hip hop, and choreography. And now that we're in May, we want to see what they have been, see their growth. So we gave them the opportunity to pick a couple of the choreography pieces to perform, and essentially they had to perform individually in front of the directors, including me, and we give them feedback. And the difficulty in that is very high. I would say it's almost like standing up and giving a speech in the front of a class, and it is, especially if that's not your strong suit, because there's more pressure on you to perform. There's more pressure on you of, am I going to make a mistake? I want to do good. I don't want to look stupid. Am I gonna suck? Do they think I suck? And there's a lot more of a mental game along with performing the choreography and making sure that you perform at a high level. And shouts out to all the dancers that did it, because again, doing that is not easy, and then getting feedback in front of your peers and colleagues also not easy. But the thing with that was we approached it with the main way we do feedback is not by tearing them down. We are, I'd say, empathetic. The format, I think a lot of us did it, was kind of the sandwich method. We acknowledged what we liked. We also acknowledged what they can improve on and what to do moving forward. That way, one, they know what's good. They can keep doing what's good and grow on that. Two, here's what's missing, what you can do to keep growing. Yeah, and I think because I've been in teams where it is just focused on this is missing, this sucks, your shit, or all the things that you would not want to hear in front of others, or even if you're by yourself and it's a one-on-one. So I think it was definitely was needed to get the skin in the game, because the thing with the training is that it can get boring because it's just training. It is just working on the craft. That is the boring part. But that's where the growth is. So to what the reasons I started adding the evaluations is, again, get their skin in the game. There's a little bit more risk, because when it comes to when you're preparing for a show, you don't want to look bad for the show unless you just really don't care. Same thing with this. Now that there's evaluations that they have to get ready for, there's some level of pressure to want to do good, and more so to not look stupid and fuck up. So that added a little pressure, I think, increased their growth in terms of the choreography, and them even challenging themselves. I think the main thing that was exciting was a lot of the dancers picked choreography that were outside of their usual language of movement. So if people who usually were good with being sharp and strong went with smooth and grooving, someone who did smooth and grooving did sharp and strong. So it's cool how they challenged themselves on their own. So yeah, along with that, today, Memorial Day, what do you call it? Some of the members from Tantrum went over to Chinatown to get some new footage. So one of the things that we used to do back at like a couple years ago before we started filming Universal Rhythm, which is which is our show. We used to do dance content days, so we would just book a space or go to an area in LA and just film there. And we haven't done that in a while, so I figured it'd be a good opportunity for us to just meet up, dance. Not exactly a full itinerary, but it's kind of like a little bit more hangout dance. Let's freestyle. Let's showcase some of the choreography. Very open format, and not very rigid, which allowed opportunity for creativity in case things do pop up of like things. Here's some things I want to film. Here's some things we want to choreograph to. So it's a lot of fun. Very relaxed. Never haven't filmed in Chinatown because usually it's a lot of places in LA you need permits and they're very strict about filming. I specifically picked today in terms of because of Memorial Day weekend because traffic I knew was not going to be that bad. Two, usually security is a little bit more relaxed, and three, I think there was going to be a lot less. There was definitely a lot less foot traffic there. I'm not sure how it is the other days, but it was definitely today. Definitely worked in our favor because we were able to film for at least 2.5 hours, ranging from freestyles to choreography, and just us being us. So yeah, it was awesome. The next one's probably going to be happening in June. Will it be at a controlled location? Maybe, just to add a little bit of variety in the places where we film. Because the thing with going into these public spaces is that it's uncontrolled. You don't know if someone's going to try to get in your shot or security is going to kick you out. So the next update is in terms of reactions. We're going to be reacting to World Street Woman Fighter, which is coming out tomorrow, so which on the 27th on Amazon Prime. Max, Lauren, Noelle, and myself are going to be watching those reactions, watching those episodes. The biggest difference with this compared to like the other big long reality shows that we reacted to is that it's coming out weekly, as far as I know. Yeah, it is coming out weekly because it's one of those shows where it has voting. The challenge with this is the consistency and the frequency we may have to film, because usually when we film these long reality TV shows, we film it in like a day, like not everything in a day, but we block out 6 to 8 hours to film these things, so that way we can spread it out and balance our life. The challenge with this one is the frequency, so it's up in the air whether we release the whole episode weekly or we do what we've usually been doing, which is break it into parts of part 1 and part 2. Again, the main reason we want to do it, I consider that heavily, is so because a lot of us have other things we need to do in terms of work. This is not our main thing, whether it's regular day jobs for some people or going to auditions, rehearsals, or shows. So the main thing is to try to make sure that this doesn't become detrimental to the responsibilities of the other members. But we're going to be reacting to it tomorrow. So excited. So I'm excited for that to come out. Once we're done editing, once we're done filming, I'm going to try to get it out as soon as possible on the Patreon. But that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.